All right, hello and welcome everyone. So the Atlas Prime Access update is out and here, and you know what that means. We are talking about Gauss once again because somehow Atlas received basically no changes outside of minor stat buffs from getting a Prime, and Gauss received like a page and a half of buffs in the same update. So Gauss is stealing Atlas's thunder a little bit here. Rest assured, there will be an Atlas Prime video, of course, but I figured it was a little bit more important to talk about the stuff that has changed with Gauss because it is rather significant. So, I've invested more Forma into Gauss and changed some of the mods around because of the changes to him. So, I have removed Mobilize and the Augur Duration mod in favor of Augur Reach and Stretch to offset the negative range from Narrow Minded, giving us this new build. The duration is still exceedingly important, but 280% not really super necessary. So tuning that down just a little bit to take advantage of the new stuff he is getting in terms of, or taking advantage of range, is going to be pretty good. But what exactly has changed here? Well, basically everything got better. All of it. The whole goddamn shebang. His 1 now charges your meter faster, and it takes less energy to use on the drain. Before, it was a drain over distance, which meant the faster you were, the more energy you were going to use. Now, it is a raw drain over time. So, this ability is cheaper now, and that's really good. For his 2, this ability drains your meter considerably less now, 33% less in fact. Even before, it was very easy for this ability just to make you basically completely invincible at all times. Now it is even easier because you do not use as much meter from getting shot. So for those of you that were being a bit lazy with Gauss and just letting yourselves get shot, you are now even more capable of doing that. And his 3, possibly receiving the most buffs, and in fairness, it was probably the one that most needed the buffs. This ability got a plus 50% base duration for going from 10 seconds to 15 seconds, which is pretty major, and with this build, it lasts almost 40 seconds. But in addition to that, the damage of the heat side of this ability was doubled, making it even more of a great tool for leveling in low-level missions or just clearing low-level trash enemies. And on top of that, the armor stripping that was in this ability while you were in your 4 and topped off at like 100% meter went from having a 50% armor strip to a 100% armor strip. And as you might imagine, stripping 100% of armor is a lot better than stripping only half of armor. So that's also a really good tool that has essentially been added to Gauss's arsenal. In addition to that, his 4 just is considerably easier to build up, and the drain from this, if you say stop moving and such, that you will have probably noticed, is considerably lessened. I believe that was also by a third. So everything about him was essentially just made way more efficient, and he is way easier to play. I don't know who got offended at DE that people were seemingly, to me at least, pretty happy with Gauss. I guess that Gauss, for some reason, needed these buffs, I guess. I don't really think that's true, but I'm not unhappy that he got them. Because, like, I've been really enjoying playing him, actually. Like, I've been using him a bunch in Disruption, and he's quite good at it, and it's a super fun time. And of note, he is particularly good with the Redeemer for taking out the Disruption targets. It is actually kind of hilarious how fast you can kill them with that. But yeah, he was just made better in pretty much all ways. So this test is not going to look a whole lot different outside of me probably using my 3 a little bit more aggressively to freeze enemies in place. But yeah, here we go. He can still John Wick motherfuckers with the Vacor Heck. And yeah, so basically, and like now given that there's like no reason to not be in redline now, it's like you don't need to like charge up first because there's no slow build up anymore. Like the build up is like basically instantaneous. So yeah, I mean, and also your 4, the projectiles that come out of your 4 and hit enemies are like way more aggressive now. So there's that as well, and it's basically you're just even more of a terrifying horror show of a Warframe for the enemies to deal with. Like, Like, yeah, it's just, it's gonna be real good. Also, in addition to all of that, he was given the ability to jump in his 1. You cannot double jump, because that would be hilariously busted, I'm sure. But you can hop while you are channeling your 1, which is way more useful than it looks. Like, I assure you, in the hallways that have, like, boxes in them and stuff, you can clear them, which means you can just keep your 1 on for longer and get places quicker, which is very nice, of course. But yeah, it's super good. It's really, really good. Like, Gauss was already solid. He was already a frame that, like, I would actively play because I felt like he was a good choice for missions. But now, fucking here we are, I guess. Was this necessary? Please let me know in the comments if you felt like Gauss was weak prior to this amount of buffs. Like, I didn't even go over all of them. There's a ton of, like, tiny buffs just here and there, like melee building meter and all that stuff. Like, there's tons of that stuff. It's just all in there. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the video. They buffed him a lot, and I will see you tomorrow.